Today I want to break down Microsoft, ticker MSFT, one of the most important large-cap tech stocks in the US market, listed on the Nasdaq. This is a stock with a very strong business foundation, but the main point I want to make in this video is simple. A strong company does not automatically mean a strong chart. And right now, for MSFT, the technical picture matters more than the fundamental story in terms of timing. I'm going to walk through this using a very structured process. First, before any buy signal appears, we need to ask one basic question. What was price doing before the signal? In MSFT's case, the answer is very clear. Before the recent buy signals, the stock had already been in a meaningful decline. After topping in the higher zone, price started trending lower, rallies became weaker, and sellers kept showing up on rebounds. So this was not a stock drifting sideways in a healthy base. It was a stock coming off a real downside move. That matters a lot because when a buy signal appears after a sharp decline, I do not want to label it as a breakout too early. In this context, the first interpretation should be that this is a bottoming attempt, a technical rebound, or an early recovery setup. Next, I mark the key levels. From the charts, the most important support zone right now is 354 to 372. That is the area where the signals are clustering, and that is what makes this zone meaningful. The 2-day chart gave a buy signal on March 24th around 372.7. The 4-day chart gave a buy signal on March 26th around 365.97. The 3-day chart gave a buy signal on April 2nd around 373.46. When multiple higher timeframes start giving buy signals in roughly the same area, that usually tells me this is not random. It tells me that buyers are reacting to a price zone that matters. So for now, 354 to 372 is the key support and demand area. As long as MSFT holds that zone, the rebound thesis remains alive. If price starts losing that zone decisively, especially if it breaks below 350, and then moves toward 338, the entire rebound structure becomes much weaker. Now the next step is to look at what happened after the signal. Did price show follow-through? Did it hold above support? Did it break through nearby resistance? My answer is, yes, there is follow-through, but it is still moderate, not powerful. That is an important distinction. The stock did react positively after the signals. It did not immediately collapse. Buyers clearly stepped in, but the rebound still has not fully proven itself as a trend reversal. Price is stabilizing, but it has not yet cleared the first major resistance zone in a convincing way. That is why I think this setup is constructive, but still incomplete. If I had to rank the 3 buy signals, I would say the 4-day signal around 365.97 is probably the most interesting from a tactical standpoint, because it came in deeper and closer to the lower end of the support region. That usually gives a better location trade, but even then, I would still describe it as a rebound signal, not a confirmed breakout signal. So how should we label MSFT right now for me? The best label is technical rebound, leaning into early recovery. I would not call it a breakout yet. I would not call it a full controlled recovery yet either. And I would not say it is in complete breakdown mode right now, because the stock is clearly trying to build support. So this is a stock in transition. It is trying to move from a weak structure into a more stable one. But it has not completed that transition yet. Now let's talk about upside levels. The first target zone I'm watching is 404 to 413. I think that is a very reasonable first objective, because this is where price is likely to encounter the first meaningful test from overhead supply. If MSFT can rally into that zone, the key question becomes, does it get rejected quickly, or can it absorb supply and keep pushing? That distinction matters. Because if the stock gets into 404 to 413 and stalls aggressively, then this whole move may remain just a rebound inside a broader weak structure. But if price can reclaim that zone and hold above it, then the chart starts to look more like a real recovery. Beyond that, the second target zone is 418 to 440. I view that as an extended target, not the first expectation. In other words, I would only focus more seriously on that area if MSFT can first prove itself above the 404 to 413 region. On the downside, the risk zone is 350 to 338. That is the area where the current bullish argument starts to break down. A move below 350 would be the first warning sign. A move below 338 would strongly damage the rebound thesis. So in practical terms, this is the line between a rebound that is still working and a rebound that has failed. Now let's add the bigger picture technical context. One of the strongest points in this setup is multi-time frame alignment. The fact that the 2-day, 3-day, and 4-day charts are all pointing toward the same support region gives the setup more weight. But at the same time, the broader structure is still not fully repaired. That is the cautionary side of the chart. The stock is still recovering from a meaningful decline. It still has overhead resistance. It still needs to prove it can reclaim levels above the current range. So while the bottoming behavior is encouraging, confirmation is still needed. That is why I think the language here matters a lot. This is not a strong breakout momentum chart. This is a buyers are trying to regain control chart. Those are two very different things, and if you say the wrong one, your expectations become wrong too. Now on the fundamental side, Microsoft remains one of the highest quality businesses in the market. The company still benefits from major long-term growth drivers, like cloud, enterprise software, productivity tools and AI infrastructure. That fundamental strength is part of the reason why MSFT is always worth watching when it gets pulled back into major support areas. But again, strong fundamentals do not remove the need for technical confirmation. Fundamentals can tell you what to own. Technicals help tell you when to act. So to wrap this up, my current view on MSFT is straightforward. This is a technical rebound first, and only potentially a recovery second. The key support zone is 354 to 372. As long as buyers defend that area, the rebound remains alive. The first upside test is 404 to 413. If price can reclaim that area with follow-through, then the next zone opens up around 418 to 440. But if the stock loses 350, and especially 338, then the current rebound thesis starts. So this is not the kind of chart where I want to get overly excited and call for an immediate breakout. This is the kind of chart where I want to stay disciplined, respect the support zone, watch how price behaves into resistance, and let the market prove whether this is just a rebound or the early stage of a stronger recovery. That is the real story in MSFT right now.